Good morning, Philadelphia Eagles fans, and good morning, NFL fans, to week 16 of the 2017 football season, where this week our Eagles come back home. After 3 road games, 2 out on the West Coast, 1 in upstate New Jersey right outside of New York City, our Philadelphia Eagles come back home with a 12-2 record, a first-round bye solidified, and trying to now lock up the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. Now, anybody that saw my last video, our Philadelphia Eagles, all of us went up to MetLife Stadium and played as a complete team and won 34-29 in a close game against a New York Football Giants team that has moved on from Ben McAdoo and it found a way to give us a run for our money. And I find all of that very interesting for many reasons. Hey, I knew the Giants with Ben McAdoo were going to be different than the Giants without Ben McAdoo. We experienced something very much the same with Chip Kelly, where our team just flat out did not respond to his methods. And our more stable organization, I'm talking about just of Eagles past, found a way to fire Chip Kelly in the middle of the season, near the end of the season, but still during the season, which is not normal. And the Giants found themselves doing the exact same thing, firing Ben McAdoo because the team was not responding to him. And what have they done ever since? They found a way to respond and put up lots of yards, lots of points against our Philadelphia Eagles. It made things a whole lot closer than everybody thought they were going to be, or most people. And I credit them for coming together when, yeah, it seems like they don't have anything to play off. No, they played with heart. They played right to the end. But in the end, our Philadelphia Eagles, without Carson Wentz, found a way to win 34-29. Yes, there are some concerns that came out of the game. I have 2 major ones, but notice one of the concerns is not quarterback play. I predicted, not just because I'm crazy or so, but because I truly believe that Nick Foles is an answer for our Philadelphia Eagles. I do believe that he has what it takes to win the whole thing this year. So that's why I said it, and that's why I believe it. And what did he do? Did nothing but prove it on the field. 24 for 38 passing, 237 yards in the air, 4 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. So any of our concerns with our Philadelphia Eagles and how we played against the New York Giants, it's not because Carson Wentz is not in the game. If anything, what came out of it is a concern on our defense and how a team that has received back Ronald Darby is now playing worse against the pass. It's not getting to the quarterback and not stuffing the run like we used to just a few weeks back. And the only other concern that I have is in our running game. Our running game hasn't been as dominant in recent weeks. And I think, personally, it's because I see a lot of sweeps getting called now. You know, instead of running Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount, north and south. Play tough. Play strong. Play that offense I told you that we're going to need to depend on anyway in the cold playoffs here in Philadelphia, not in a dome team of like the Saints or Atlanta or Minnesota. No, we're going to be playing outdoors. We're making sure of that. So we need to run accordingly. We need to run north-south and control the clock. We need to not be predictable and pass it on first down. So depending on what happens there, then the entire world knows that we're running it on second down. And we need to play Eagles football, mistake-free football. No interceptions, no fumbles. But we invite in, good morning, we invite in an Oakland Raiders team that seemingly has lost its identity in just 1 year. Last year, they went through the same thing we did this year, but they responded a little different. Derek Carr found himself on the injury list at the end of the season after they had a complete run during the regular season. Had a very favorable record and looked like they were going to make some noise in the playoffs until Carr got injured, and then everything fell apart. Now that their team is all back, they have not responded during this regular season. They've found ways to lose games. Yeah, sure, they had that wacky win against Kansas City. That was an oddity, but they have found ways to lose games. Definitely by what you saw last week against the Cowboys. Looking at that game, there seems like, if you look at the stats, like Dak Prescott looked like absolute garbage. Like he didn't have any touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. The rushing game was not there. Nobody was effective. Derek Carr had 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. I mean, they were getting to the quarterback. Marshawn Lynch running the ball, tough to get down. Came down to one of the final plays of the game. Carr was looking like he was going to run it right into the end zone, and he fumbled it out of the back of the end zone. Touchback. Dallas wins. 20-17, I believe. So that's really kind of how the Raiders' season has gone. We're just a couple bounces the other way. The Raiders are a playoff team, especially in a very odd AFC West this year where the Kansas City Chiefs jumped out to 5-0 and then now just barely winning their division. Very weird. Right over the San Diego Chargers that were like 0-4 to start the season. But like we learned last week, we can't take any team lightly. And there's specific strengths that we have to guard against playing against the Raiders this week. They have obvious weapons that Carr likes to utilize. In simple 3 names, no 4, let's make it 5, okay? You start with Derek Carr. I think he's a better than average quarterback with the ability to run, okay? So he's not Russell Wilson, but he's also not just going to be standing back there like a statue, right? So we have to deal with him. We have to deal with his 2 top targets, which is Cook and Crabtree. We know the ball is going to be going to both of them. Then they're getting Amari Cooper back. Now, I believe he's going to be more of a decoy. I think you allow for them to try to short pass, allow him to cut on that ankle as much as possible, because a couple weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, he tried to come back and 15 plays into the game, he was injured again on that ankle. So I think you allow for him to cut on that ankle as much as possible at the beginning of the game. I think he'll take himself out of the game. Because I think he's just going to be a deep threat and just try to run jet routes all day. I don't think it's going to be effective. We don't let it happen. And of course, you can't mention the Oakland Raiders without mentioning Marshawn Lynch. I highlighted weeks ago how I love this guy's heart, especially playing for his hometown team. Something that all of us would love to do one day, or someday, play tough football, inspired football, heart football for the hometown team. So, Marshawn Lynch is one of the hardest running backs to get down in the league. But then on defense, you have to talk about Khalil Mack. He is just like a Von Miller type, a kind of defensive player that can take over a game. He will be coming after the quarterback. Nick Foles is not as mobile as Carson Wentz, but what's great about it is Nick Foles doesn't have to be Carson Wentz, as we proved last week. He has a different skill set. He has a different way to play in the game. He has the same result. Good touchdown to interception ratio and coming home with a victory, which is the point. So what do our Eagles have to do? I already talked about north-south running. We have weapons all over the place, and you saw even last week how different people had touchdown catches, and Nelson Aguilar and Alshon Jeffrey and Trey Burton and Zach Ertz, good morning. Go Birds. Different people are showing up. Jay Ajayi, we need to get him the ball even more. Running north-south. LeGarrette Blount, Corey Clement. Nick Foles, you need to continue to play mistake-free football. But what's so great about the Giants game, when the defense didn't come through all the way, two other factors came in. Now, yeah, our defense needs to stop biting on double moves and play stronger at the cornerback position and play tough run defense. But our special teams came up big. Our special teams came up huge, where we blocked an extra point, we blocked a field goal, and we blocked a punt. Well, if you really think about it, that's the difference in the game. If the Giants score 4 more points at the end of the game, they're looking to just kick a field goal to win. But last but not least, especially you guys that see my video, knowing that I was at MetLife Stadium in that end zone area where Eli Manning couldn't hear, the last part of what we need to do as a Philadelphia Eagles organization is to bring the noise, bring the passion, bring the energy to our stadium, us as fans. That's something that we can control. It's something I've been saying for weeks now that we are showing consistent success, being 12-2. Us as fans, we need to continue to change our minds and not thinking about how we've been disappointed in the past, but what we intend on going forward in the future. And my top comment from last week actually goes to Doug21. With his initial comment, I would have never thought that he'd be my top comment from last week. But this is a perfect example of the old mentality and changing into the new. Now, Doug21 had specific thoughts on how he thought the Giants game was going to go, especially being influenced by other people, saying that we're about to take an L, we're about to lose, and this is why it can't happen. And you guys have been tuning in for a long time now know I'm pretty stubborn in a good way, because I believe anything is possible. I do. And I show up and bring that heart and I bring that passion in everything I do, including rooting for my Philadelphia Eagles. But I was able to convince Doug21 to believe in something different, and that the story can be different for our Philadelphia Eagles this year. Our Eagles and our fans proved it. They're coming up big. And our fans, we made a difference. We flat out made a difference. Eli Manning said it himself. They couldn't hear it in their own stadium because of us. We brought the noise, we brought the passion, we brought the energy to somebody else's stadium that much that we affected the outcome of the game. So Dougie P, being an upstanding fan, came back to the channel and explain his mentality difference and change. And now that he believes we can. He just believes our defense has to step up in ways like we did in the middle of the season. But that's what it's about. It's about a different story. That's what we're trying to do. And all that we're doing. Yeah, we're talking Eagles. We're also talking about it in our city as well. We're trying to change the story. We're trying to no longer lean on negative, disappointing stories of the past. We're trying to make a different story in the future. A story of champions. A story of winning. And a story of heart. So this Christmas, I want to wish all you guys, all the people out there, a Merry Christmas. I will be at the game on Monday night. I believe in section M10. Thank you, bro, for the tickets. And I hope that St. Nick and our Philadelphia Eagles bring us a Christmas gift of the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. And keep our Eagles here at home all the way to the road to the Super Bowl in Minneapolis. So let's do it, baby. Let's show our heart, baby. Let's show what we're made of. Let's show the entire country on Christmas night that Philadelphia is here to stay. The playoffs are in Philadelphia, here to stay. And we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna be quiet. You can't hush us down with anything that you got in your mind because we're too strong for that. We believe in St. Nick. We believe in our defense. We believe in Doug. We believe in second chances like Nelson Aguilar. We believe in our team. We believe in our city. And our city's gonna stay together and we're gonna fly together. And let's do that by beating the Oakland Raiders on Christmas night. Go Birds! E-I-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Beat the Raiders and go Birds! Woo!